Why is Werewolf by Night, the newest Halloween special from the MCU, Disney, and Marvel, so amazing? Today we are going to talk about all the reasons as to why. That is the question I am asking after seeing it for the first time. Amazing is the word I would very much use to describe this new Halloween special. A special in which is something very, very new to the Marvel Universe, and I think is going to bode well for them in the future once they see the reception that this special is getting. This is Marvel's first ever real introduction into the horror universe of characters from the Marvel Comics based off the Werewolf by Night character runs. And I have to say, there was no better way for them to introduce this world than here with this special. I had a blast and a good time with this little less than an hour of time that I had with it, and ultimately, that is one of its biggest strengths in that it is very short. I've seen a bunch of people say that they wish they got more from it, but personally, for me, I think it is a perfect runtime and didn't overstay its welcome. If it were me, I would rather we get more specials like this at the same runtime they are than full-on movies which might feel like they would overdo themselves. There is enough here in the special to really let you sink into this world and watch all these different characters on screen as they go about their journey. While there is not a full-on reference to anything major from the actual MCU that we are used to, there are subtle hints to certain things, which is totally fine by me. It is another big strength of the special. It didn't need to connect to anything in the MCU Phase 4 or not, and it being its own thing really played to its greatness. Another thing that is really strong here are the characters themselves and the actors who play them, and from a personal perspective, I do apologize here in the sense that I do not recognize a single actor other than one, but that is to its strength. Seeing new faces play these kind of characters actually brought me in a lot more than I thought it would. Funny enough, the only person here who I do recognize is the man who plays the lead role himself, Gael Garcia Bernal, who recently starred in M. Night Shyamalan's newest film, Old. He was really good in that movie, and even if the movie wasn't as good as I thought it would be, he shined and he pulls it off here yet again as the main lead in this special. I think every other person in the special was solid, even though I've never seen them in anything else. They feel exactly like characters that you would see in an entertainment format like this. From the black and white aesthetic, to the old classic music, and even to the way that the special is filmed and shot. It feels like a very old school special that people would watch in the old days. And what I love so much about it is that it feels like a modern take on that era of entertainment. It feels like a 50-50 split of old school mixed with a modernized way of looking at it. And I think a lot of that has to do with who the director is, which is Michael Giacchino, who gets his first ever directing gig behind the camera with this special. He is one of the more famed composers living today in the film industry and is mainly known for making music, but here he is now making something that he's always dreamed of making, and I think he nailed it on the head. And for me, I personally cannot find any real criticisms to give this special. If there was one thing that I did notice that could come out as a critique, it would be around the CG for the character Man-Thing, who is the central plot point to the entire special. Even though I didn't find it to be distracting, my guess as to why it looked the way it did was because they wanted to make it feel as if it was in the age of the old school feeling of CGI. I don't think it needed to look absolutely amazing, and I think they did enough with what they needed to do with that character. If I had to speak on one thing I do feel doesn't equate to my feeling on the special, but just the way that it was marketed, is the tone and vibe that this special sets forth. If you're going in thinking it's going to be an unbelievably terrifying and scary to the point where you'll shrivel up in your blanket, you are going to be disappointed. Not once during the special did I feel scared or horrified at any one point. I was really just more amazed and entertained. The trailers do make it look like it would be terrifying, and I think that is not at all, for me personally, what I felt watching it. But again, that doesn't mean that the special is bad. It's just something that the marketing makes you feel that is not equated to how I felt watching it. But that's neither here nor there. I think for many people coming out of this special, I think they are going to say that this is arguably one of the best things that Phase 4 specifically has done, and I honestly don't disagree. And so I'm just very curious to see where they are going to go with this in the future. I do hope that we get more specials like this in the future that are their own thing and not as intertwined with the actual MCU that we are used to. And by the way, the very last 10 or so minutes of this special is some of the best shot and great action that the MCU has done yet. And I'm telling you right now, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this if you are somebody who's watching this review for the first time and hasn't seen the special yet. So please, I would absolutely recommend you go watch this when you can, whether that be now or on Halloween night. So those are my thoughts on Werewolf by Night in this small video essay format. I want to now hear your thoughts about this special down below in the comments section. What did you think about it? Do you want to see more of this stuff in the future? And if so, from what type of characters in the horror universe of Marvel Comics? I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.